Ctv3 News. 28-year-old drowns in the Honeycamp Lagoon after a day of socializing and fishing. The CCJ denies special leave application in Belizean election challenge. Despite setback in CCJ case, Jerry Enriquez remains resilient. Post-mortem reveals Raheem Asher was shot 4 times to the head and starved for nearly a month before his body was discarded here in Orange Walk. And the sandpitters blocked the Sandpit Road in Carmelita. We'll tell you why. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, March 4th, 2025.
Escape to paradise. Centaur is giving you the chance to win an unforgettable getaway at the breathtaking Orchid Bay Resort. Picture this: a stunning beach and a relaxing poolside retreat. One lucky winner will enjoy an overnight stay for 2, plus a delicious breakfast, all courtesy of Orchid Bay Resort. How to enter? Sign up for any Centaur service or stay up to date with your payments for a chance to win. Live raffle draw on April 16th on Despierta Belize show. Enter now to win with Centaur.
El gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo representa una amenaza importante para el ganado, las mascotas y los seres humanos. Puede provocar graves pérdidas si no se controla rápidamente. Actualmente no está presente en Belice. Es por eso que la detección temprana es crucial para evitar su propagación. Ayudemos a mantenerlo fuera. No traiga animales de otros países ilegalmente. Si nota gusaneras en heridas inusuales, infórmelo de inmediato. Llame a Baja al 824-4872 o envíe un mensaje de texto al 670-7003. Juntos podemos trabajar para mantener a nuestro país libre del gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo y salvar animales. Este mensaje es presentado por Baja, OIRSA, IICA, USDA y el Ministerio de Agricultura, Seguridad Alimentaria y Empresas.
Good evening. With your news, also Samukais on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A 28-year-old Orange Kenya lost his life on Monday evening after he drowned in a Honeycamp Lagoon. 28-year-old Sean Michael Toledano, along with a group of 5 friends, visited the lagoon around 1 in the afternoon on Monday, where they were planning to do some fishing. The group of friends were in the area socializing for a few hours, and around 5 p.m., they noticed that Sean was missing from the area. The group reports that they immediately began to search the water for their companion. However, they quickly found him face down and completely submerged in the water. While the friends attempted to perform CPR on Toledano's body, Their attempts were futile and he was pronounced dead upon arrival at the Northern Regional Hospital. Today, our news team visited Toledano's grieving family. His mother recounted the last conversation she had with her son just minutes before he left to go fishing.
Dice, mami, voy a ir a pescar. Y le digo, hijo, pero ahorita no es tiempo que vayas a pescar, no vayas. Yo le dije, ¿qué vas a ir a buscar allá? Yo le dije así. Y me dice, pero voy a ir con mi cuñado, dice, y con paps y con los otros. Son como 5 de ellos que fueron. Hasta su mujer de uno fue con sus 2 hijos. Pero que yo estaba acá en mi sillón sentada, yo sentada, como a las 5 de la tarde, estoy sentada y me vino un dolor en el pecho. Mire, aquí, de aquí vino aquí. Después siento que mi hombro, que me está doliendo. Ahora llegando mi otro hijo, mami, ¿usted qué tiene? Usted se ve muy triste, me dice. Le digo, hijo, es porque ya no ha llegado, le dije. Yo le dije así. Y me dice, él va a llegar rato, me dijo. Cuando dio como a las 6, mi hija me está llamando. No me llamó a mí, ella vino llorando acá conmigo. Pero ahora no me quieren decirme a mí nada. Pero yo estoy viendo que alguien, mi hija se está saboreando su mano porque ella está molesta, porque su marido fue también. Algo pasó, dice. Ahora mi esposo me dice, anda adentro. ¿Cómo voy adentro si yo estoy viendo que mis hijas están llorando? Les digo, cuando me lo dijeron, es como que se me levanté, alzaron a mí otra vez. Pero en vez cuando uno les dice consejo, uno ya sabe porque pasa las cosas. Pero no me hizo caso, se fue a pescar, dice. Dice mi hija que su marido dice que él quería pescar para que me traiga a mí, para que yo coma mi pescado. Él era bien amable, mi hijo. Él es, como yo les digo, yo creo que Diosito me lleva a los mejores hijos. Porque él no es de pelear, él no es nada de eso. Aconseja a su otro hermano que tiene, no, tú cuando tomas, quieres andar peleando. Él dice, no hagas esas cosas. Yo no paso todo el tiempo porque te esté cuidando, ¿sabes? Les dijo, así se los digo. No sé si él presentía eso. ¿Sabes eso que?
Sean, according to his mother, was a dedicated son who enjoyed living life and spending time with family and friends.
Sean era una persona bien amable, porque él, de lo que él coma, si come algo allá para comprado, él me trae para mí y para su papá. Y siempre, todos, él es su mamá. La última, no, como el último día que le estoy diciendo, que yo no sé si presentía, yo no sé. Él vino medio high y agarró, se acostó, mami, yo quiero acostar al lado de usted. Y se durmió abrazado conmigo así.
Post-mortem is pending on Toledano's body to determine an exact cause of death. The Belize Police Department has released the cause of death for 28-year-old Raheem Asher, whose body was found in the outskirts of San Antonio Village 1 week ago. According to police reports, at the conclusion of a post-mortem examination conducted by Dr. Roque Blanco, the cause of death was certified to be multiple gunshot wounds to the head. Asher's body was found on February 27 near the Rio Hondo River in the community of San Antonio. He was handcuffed and wrapped in a sheet and covered in plastic. Before his body was found, Raheem had been missing since January 25th. His family had even offered a $15,000 reward for any information on his whereabouts. When his body was found, it came with a chilling message threatening those involved in, quote, bringing down the planes with drugs. On Monday, the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, confirmed that 2 of the persons believed to have been involved in Asher's death are believed to also be dead.
The suspects that you talk about in the Raheem Asher case, do you believe they're in Belize or do you think they skipped the border?
Well, 2 of them we believe are dead.
Okay.
Okay.
So it is kind of connected in a way. If you believe that these two men were killed, Raheem.
I doesn't mean that they're connected, no.
Okay.
Possibilities, yes, but doesn't give a definitive
So you believe they were
answer.
A resident of Champagne Bridge here in the Orange Walk district was arrested and charged for assaulting a police officer. The incident happened on Monday, March 3rd, while Police Constable Jair Tech and Police Constable Randy Koi were responding to a domestic report at Champagne Bridge Village. Upon arrival at the scene, the officers approached Xavier Sabido and informed him that he was being detained following a report made against him. The officers report that Sabido began to act in an aggressive manner. The officers were able to subdue him and place him under arrest. While transporting him to the Orange Walk police station, Sabido reportedly began to kick the officer who was driving the vehicle, causing him injuries. Reports made against him, he started to behave aggressive. PC Tech and PC Koi attempted to place the handcuff on him, who began to struggle. He was subdued, and whilst being escorted to the station, Xavier Sabido was sitting behind the driver's seat, began aggressive and kicked PC Tech on the right side of his head, causing him to feel pain. 56-year-old Xavier Sabido was formally arrested and charged on Monday for the offenses of resisting lawful arrest and assaulting a police officer. He was taken to the Orange Walk lower court, where he was offered a bail, which he was able to meet. The Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, has rejected an urgent application from Senior Counsel Andan Aromogan, who sought to postpone the upcoming election scheduled for March 12th. Logan represents Jerry Enriquez, who argues that the existing voters list violates constitutional standards and endangers the integrity of the electoral process. The CCJ's ruling follows a virtual case management conference held on Monday, during which the Court of Appeal weighed the application for special leave to appeal against a prior decision made by High Court Justice Tawanda Ondora. Although the appeal court acknowledged the complexity of the case and the need for further deliberation, it vowed to expedite the timeline for hearing the case. In a notable legal strategy, Logan opted to approach the CCJ directly to reverse the case management orders issued by the Court of Appeal, a maneuver that legal experts are calling unprecedented within the regional legal context. This deviation from standard procedure has sparked discussions regarding its potential implications for future cases. After reviewing the legal provisions laid out in the Caribbean Court of Justice Appellate Jurisdiction Rules 2024, the CCJ ultimately deemed Logan's application to be lacking merit. Consequently, it ordered the application be handled solely through documented submissions and officially denied the request for special leave to appeal. Today, the attorney for the Attorney General, Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney, spoke to the media about the CCJ's decision.
Remember, Ms. Justice Ondora dismissed his application to stop the election. So he appealed it to the Court of Appeal. In order for you to appeal, you have to settle, there are some procedural hurdles that have to be completed. He attempted, and the court entertained him, he attempted to jump over those hurdles without completing them. So the court entertained him yesterday and said, okay, well, we have to file evidence now. You have an application now before us. There has to be evidence. There has to be submissions on both sides, etc. Those orders were given. The result of those orders is that it was unlikely that his application would have been heard by 12th of March. And so he felt that, and in fact, he has language like that in his application to the CCJ, that in fact, the Court of Appeal was in fact frustrating Mr. Enriquez's claim. You should see that document. He was incorrect and only partially citing what had happened, giving the false impression. Fortunately, the CCJ saw through it. So, Paul, Essentially, he did not like the timing and the pace at which the Court of Appeal was setting the procedural things that had to happen. And so he jumped from there and went to the CCJ. But look at the obvious. All the Court of Appeal did was say, file evidence by this date, file submissions by this date, and we will set a hearing date. What appeal could you conceivably make from that? What error of law, what conceivable can the CCJ say, oh, the Court of Appeal was wrong? What he wanted the CCJ to do was to say to the Court of Appeal, you reorganize your business to suit Mr. Ramlogan's schedule, and I'm forcing you to do it. And the CCJ dismissed it without merit.
For senior counsel Courtney, the CCJ was Enriquez's last resort to block the elections.
Is this the last chance that they have to try and block the election, which has been the earnest hope of Mr. Enriquez and his attorney, Mr. Ramlogan?
In my opinion, it is the last hope. There are directions given by the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal is going to determine when it's going to entertain the case. There are many difficulties which I won't go into at this stage with that appeal. I think it is misconceived, and we will deal with that when the time is right. But I do not believe that the Court of Appeal is going to fall for what Mr. Ramlogan is attempting to do. There is a long and consistent line of cases in the Commonwealth that says when a prime minister dissolves the National Assembly, it is time for the people to speak, and courts will not restrain the holding of elections. That is a political decision made by a prime minister in consultation with his advisors. It's a political decision, and the courts are not going to interfere with it. Indeed, when we were before Justice Ondora, he pointed out to Mr. Ramlogan, asked him whether he had read the Christopher Ram case from the CCJ. And there are two CCJ cases which have stated that courts are not going to tell a prime minister when to hold an election, or you can't hold it at this time, or you can only hold it at that time. That has been consistent throughout the Caribbean.
And in regard to court costs, Courtney says he is yet to receive instructions.
As a general rule, in public law and constitutional law cases, the state does, if it wins, does not usually get costs unless the court is persuaded that the claimants acted wholly unreasonably, that they are persisting in circumstances where the law is obviously against them or the facts are against them, and they are still taking up court time. Then an application can be made by the state to say, listen, in this particular case, there was some unreasonable behavior, and we're asking the court to exercise its discretion. I have no instructions at this stage from the Attorney General to say, go after anybody for costs, go after Mr. Enriquez for costs. I will say this. The application to the Caribbean Court of Justice was, to quote the Caribbean Court of Justice, without merit. That application was conceived of by Mr. Ramlogan, not by Mr. Enriquez. There is something called wasted costs, which focuses not on the client, but on the lawyer. And I think that that is something that needs to be looked at in this particular matter.
So what happens next? Well, both parties must comply with the Court of Appeal's decision,
which is that submissions and evidence have to be filed during the course of this week and early next week, I believe. And the Court of Appeal, remember, the Court of Appeal is in session. The Court of Appeal has its calendar of cases. What Mr. Ram Logan wants is that for them to upset that, to entertain him. I don't know that they have the time to do that. So we just have to wait and see what the Court of Appeal will do. But I make this point to you. In the application to the CCJ, he pressed the same arguments, how desperately urgent this was, and that the CCJ must at least entertain him to save his clients. And the CCJ dismissed it as without merit. Why? All the cases say that once the House is dissolved, you let the election go through and then you challenge it or whatever issue you have, you deal with it after.
Indeed. And then
Just think about this.
Mhm.
There are 2 members of the National Assembly already, Fort George and Pickstock. How can you stop the election?
Although they haven't been sworn in as yet.
Yeah, but that's just a formality. They have been lawfully returned, and the writ has been delivered to the Governor General.
Despite the recent decision by the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, today Jerry Enriquez, upon speaking to the media, expressed his disappointment regarding the proceedings, but emphasized that his spirit remains unbroken.
We recognize that we're charting charting new waters in all of this, and we had very limited time to do this. Since February 4th, when we wrote a letter to the Governor General, to the Attorney General, copied to the Governor General and the Prime Minister to indicate our deep concern for the severe malapportionment of Belize's electoral division, and calling for redivisioning of these to have a fair election. That still has not been done, and so it was a challenge that we were willing to take to try to find some kind of redress before the elections, and it did not happen. So it is still a fact that we're severely malapportioned, and that is something that we're trying to achieve. We accept that we're going into an election that is unconstitutional, that is in violation of the Constitution, and that the political parties willingly are continuing in that process and in maintaining the status quo. It does not make it right, but it is happening.
Prime Minister John Briceño has reaffirmed his government's commitment to conduct redistricting after the upcoming general elections. While acknowledging that the process has been long overdue, Briceño explained that delays in Parliament and opposition from both major parties prevented the Elections and Boundaries Commission's report from moving forward. With that said, Enrique says he will see the PM to his word.
We will watch them very closely as they again swear and take an oath to abide by the Constitution, and we will consistently remind them and do everything that is possible to ensure that they're doing it. So the process has started, it has not ended.
And according to Enriquez, there is a high possibility that an election petition will be filed after the votes are in.
Those are some of the considerations that the attorney Ram Logan, Senior Counsel Ram Logan, and I will discuss more strategies as to how we proceed. But the objective remains the same: to ensure that the government of Belize respects the Constitution, and to ensure that there will be no other election where we have this severe apportionment of electoral divisions.
Today's decision comes amid a series of electoral challenges led by Ram Logan, who is also supporting the Rudy Wade Belize Peace Movement's challenge concerning the elections. That case is expected to be heard in the High Court on Tuesday, just 1 week before the pivotal election day, further intensifying the scrutiny on the electoral process. Senior Counsel Amon Courtney, representing the Election and Boundaries Commission, explains what happened in that case today.
There was an order by Justice Ondora that the record be prepared and filed, and it was not filed. It is 852 pages, and it was sent to me electronically at 4:37 yesterday. The judge indicated this morning that he had not read it. He had not even received it. And Ms. Sharon Pitts, for the claimants, apologized. And the judge gave her time to file it. He asked her to explain the urgency. She gave that the record of 852 pages, I assume later today, tomorrow, I don't know. But when we get it, the judge will have to make a determination as to what is the urgency, where you're not asking for, say, an injunction or something. It's just pure legal arguments. There is no application in that case to stop the election.
Yeah, it's likely.
Coming up next, jury acquits boat captain in tragic death of Oklahoma teen. Stay tuned.
Estimados votantes de Orange Rock Norte, hoy vengo una vez más a pedirles sus apoyos para estas próximas elecciones. Saben, formamos gobierno en un tiempo bastante difícil, abrumados por el COVID y empeorado por la bancarrota en la cual nos dejó el gobierno previo. A pesar de eso, nos pusimos a trabajar y superamos muchos problemas. Por eso hoy hay más oportunidades para todos. El precio de caña está más alto que nunca. Hay más ayudas a los estudiantes para la educación, más servicios médicos gratis en los hospitales públicos. Se ha implementado el National Health Insurance, el NHI. Se han hecho más torneos y maratones. Y se han rehabilitado más canchas con luces. Se han construido más casas de concreto para la gente. Y hay más atención a los caminos en las aldeas y en los sugar roads. De hecho, continuaremos con la pavimentación de caminos en las aldeas y las carreteras públicas a las aldeas. Se han dado más documentos de identidad a gente que antes no tenía. Y la economía del país sigue mejorando, creando más oportunidades para todos. No ha sido perfecto, pero se ha hecho mucho más trabajo con mejores resultados. Vamos bien. Por eso hoy vengo a pedirles con la misma humildad que voten por mí, su humilde servidor, en estas próximas elecciones del 12 de marzo. Y seguiremos avanzando juntos hacia la prosperidad para todos. Muchas gracias. Que Dios les bendiga.
El gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo representa una amenaza importante para el ganado, las mascotas y los seres humanos. Puede provocar graves pérdidas si no se controla rápidamente. Actualmente no está presente en Belice. Es por eso que la detección temprana es crucial para evitar su propagación. Ayudemos a mantenerlo fuera. No traiga animales de otros países ilegalmente. Si nota gusaneras en heridas inusuales, infórmelo de inmediato. Llame a Baja al 824-4872 o envíe un mensaje de texto al 670-7003. Juntos podemos trabajar para mantener a nuestro país libre del gusano barrenador del Nuevo Mundo y salvar animales. Este mensaje es presentado por Baja, OIRSA, IICA, USDA y el Ministerio de Agricultura, Seguridad Alimentaria y Empresas.
Es que Escape to paradise. Centaur is giving you the chance to win an unforgettable getaway at the breathtaking Orchid Bay Resort. Picture this: a stunning beach and a relaxing poolside retreat. One lucky winner will enjoy an overnight stay for two, plus a delicious breakfast, all courtesy of Orchid Bay Resort. How to enter? Sign up for any Centaur service or stay up to date with your payments for a chance to win. Live raffle draw on April 16th on Despierta Belize Show. Enter now to win with Centaur.
There was a tense situation in the community of Carmelita earlier today in the area of the sandpit, which saw the sandpit road being blocked by sandpitters from within the community. According to what we have been made to understand, Carmelita residents who make a living loading sand at the pit were upset over the condition of the road, which they say is in a deplorable state, making it difficult for truckers to make the voyage into the pit. Because of the bad condition, these residents say that truckers have decided to stop making the trip, costing them their daily wages. Simultaneously, as sandpitters were blocking the road, the chairman of the Carmelita Village Council was also dealing with another situation where an unauthorized agent was illegally collecting the proceeds from the sandpit. These collections, according to village chairman Victor Polanco, can only be done by the village council, who is authorized to do so.
Lo que está sucediendo es que el Carmelita Village Council es el único autorizado para poder cobrar la arena que se está sacando de la aldea. Entonces tenemos los areneros, están un poquito molestos por la calle, pero lo que ha pasado es que con tanta lluvia que hemos estado teniendo, la calle está un poquito, sí se puede pasar, pero tarda un poquito más para llegar a donde ellos sacan arena. Entonces, como el Village Council hemos estado trabajando en lo que es en las calles del pueblo. Entonces ayer lunes teníamos que empezar a trabajar en el Sandpit Road. Lastimosamente, pues el grader o la máquina que iba a trabajar para nosotros no pudo entrar, sino hasta hoy o mañana tenía que entrar. Entonces hoy en la mañana me llamaron por teléfono a decirme que los unloaders estaban haciendo block la calle de Sandpit Road, entonces que es algo ilegal. Y me dijeron también que había una persona que estaba colectando para la arena, que se está sacando de la aldea, entonces también eso está ilegal. Entonces enfrente de mí tengo unos recibos que se estaba dando a las personas, los trucks que han estado llegando, pero tampoco no tienen ninguna estampa de la aldea. Entonces eso quiere decir que todo lo que estaban haciendo es ilegal.
The Carmelita Village Council, according to Polanco, employees an agent to collect the weekly fees from truck drivers. However, the illegal activities of one individual have been hindering this process.
Yo no colecto la arena. Tenemos una persona que colecta la arena y a él se le paga semanal. Entonces, ese es un empleado de Carmelita Village Council. Entonces, él viene y me lo entrega con recibo y todo, ¿no? Entonces, pero a él también le están afectando porque ese es su trabajo cada semana. Entonces, yo tenía la obligación de ver lo que está pasando y también de poder traer a esa persona a corte, porque es algo ilegal y se tiene que hacer esto porque si no va a continuar.
With an official complaint made to the Orange Walk Police, Polanco says persons are being advised to desist from engaging in the illegal collection of proceeds, which are earmarked for the community.
Lo que se está sacando es del gobierno, ¿me entiende? Entonces nosotros como el concilio cada año pagamos una licencia para que se saque esa arena. Entonces nosotros tenemos la obligación, la responsabilidad de cobrar ese dinero. Y esto siempre es ayuda para toda la aldea cuando se hace, ¿no?
¿Y cuánto dinero se estaba cobrando por esta persona,
pues,
por cada camión?
Pues mayormente cada camión es $20. Hay unos camiones que $10. No han estado cobrando más, pero este es lo que están cobrando, pero se debía de ir directamente para el Carmelita Village Council.
As to the condition of the Sandpit Road, the chairman says they have been in discussion with Area Representative Honorable Kevin Bernard and hope that the issue will be resolved in the coming days.
Pues en eso estamos también hablando con el ministro a ver si podemos, porque sí iban a entrar esta semana y hemos hablado con Mr. Kevin Bernard para ver si el Ministry of Works puede entrar a ayudarnos también, porque nosotros podemos aportar lo que es el material, pero también necesitamos las máquinas para que nos ayuden, para que las calles estén más bueno, para que los trucks puedan entrar, ¿no?
We understand that police warned the individual collecting the money from truckers to desist from doing so or face legal action. As per the road to the sandpit, we understand MIDH will be in the area tomorrow carrying out upgrades. A jury has acquitted both Captain Jesse James Smith of charges related to the death of 17-year-old American student Logan Kelton Pratt. The jury's unanimous decision was reached after more than 4 hours of deliberation in the High Court, presided over by Justice Derek Sylvester. The tragic incident occurred on February 14, 2023, when Pratt, an Oklahoma City native, lost her life while swimming off the coast of San Pedro. According to a post-mortem examination, her death was attributed to hypovolemic shock caused by external bleeding from multiple sharp injuries consistent with a boat propeller. Smith, who was 30 years old at the time of the incident, was charged 6 months later following a thorough investigation by Belizean authorities. The trial commenced on February 24, 2025, and concluded after a week of testimony and presentations. Smith was represented by attorney Audrey Matura. During the proceedings, Smith took to the stand, asserting that he did not see Pratt before the accident and noted that she was swimming in a location frequented by boats. He expressed remorse over the incident but maintained that he had done everything possible to avoid a collision. A urine test administered after the incident revealed no signs of alcohol or drug use in Smith's system. The events of that fateful day were recounted in detail throughout the trial. At approximately 3:04 p.m., police arrived at the Ambergris Hope Clinic to find Pratt's lifeless body, which bore deep cuts and abrasions later verified by her mother. Smith had been maneuvering a 25-foot fiberglass skiff named Matthew, owned by Belize Pro Dive Center Limited, when he is alleged to have struck Pratt near the Maya Chica Resort while returning from a tour at Mexico Rocks. Initially, Smith believed that his boat had collided with a log, only to realize later that someone had been injured in the water. Tragically, Pratt was pronounced dead shortly thereafter at 3 p.m. An investigation by the Belize Port Authority ensued, involving GPS readings and measurements of the water's depth at various distances from the shoreline. Based on this evidence, Smith was charged nearly 2 years after the incident, a decision mandated by the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. Following the jury's decision, Smith displayed visible relief as he exited the courtroom, where he was met by family and supporters. While the prosecution relied on circumstantial evidence and forensic analysis to build their case, the jury ultimately found the evidence insufficient to demonstrate negligence on Smith's part. The verdict has sparked discussions regarding boating safety, swimming zones, and the responsibilities of watercraft operators within Belize's popular tourist areas. As the community grapples with this tragic loss, many hope that lessons learned from the incident will lead to improved safety measures on the water. Police in Orange Walk are tonight investigating a case of theft which happened on Monday, March 3rd. According to official reports, 23-year-old Roberto Yucan, a Belizean bus driver of San Victor Village, reported that he parked his red 250cc motorcycle valued at $3,700 inside the Tillits bus compound located on Sparrow Street, Trial Farm Village at around 5:30 a.m. on Monday and left on a bus run from Orange Walk Town to Belize City. Upon returning to Orange Walk around 6 on that same evening, Yukan went to get his cycle and noticed that it was not where he had left it. Police are currently carrying out an investigation in the area and interviewing persons who were in the area throughout the day to try and determine the culprit behind his theft. Anyone with information which can lead police to the person responsible are asked to contact the nearest police station. Viewers are also reminded that it is an offense to buy or even be in possession of a stolen item. This offense is punishable by a hefty fine or even jail time. Senior counsel Eamon Courtney, a prominent but often low-profile advisor to Prime Minister John Bresenio, was spotted at a political rally here in the North over the weekend. Known for his serious demeanor and strategic behind-the-scenes role, Courtney's appearance at the rally marks a significant departure from his usual approach, where he typically stays out of the spotlight. When asked today about his unusual appearance on the rostrum at the political rally held by PUP Orange Walk South standard bearer Jose Mai, Courtney told the media he was there in full support of a close friend.
I was invited by Minister Mai to speak and to introduce him at the rally in San Lazaro. He and I worked very closely when I was Minister of Foreign Trade and he was Minister of Agriculture, looking for markets, helping on the sugar issue, etc., etc. And I think that he is an excellent standard bearer, and I could never have said no to him. So, you know, when I can help and where I can help, I try to help.
The rally, which drew hundreds of supporters, was aimed at galvanizing voter support ahead of the upcoming elections. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
I believe in the power of our community.
Get the work done. You must be mad, you must be sick, you must be dreaming.
Together, we have achieved so much, but there is a lot more to be done.
Get the work done. Kevin Bernard, you are true genius. Stick to the plan, the people come first. Some never believe.
Together, let's continue to build a better Orange Walk.
Over 300 land, certified farmland, where available, identified.
Yo, Empress Melcy Productions in collaboration with Vibes Alive International presents
Reggae by the River 2025.
It's a first of its kind Sunday reggae vibes alongside the mighty New River at the Banquitas Open Lawn, featuring conscious music, delicious food and drinks, plus a wide variety of adult beverages.
Musical niceness by
David Echostone of 5-Star International, DJ Bilo of Belizean Jugglers, DJ Mix of Vibes Alive International, Mr. Jerez of Freshmatic Sound,
DJ Jesse of Rascas Sound, DJ Dynasty, Reggae Dutch.
Reserve your cocktail tables or apply for vendor space now by calling 670-9579 or 669-8233 or 612-7225. Also, bottle service will be available on local and imported. No
As much as we have done over the past 4.5 years, I am well aware there's more that needs to be done. I know there are more single mothers who need a home so that they can better support their children. I know the cost of living is still too high and that we must work harder to make the basic goods and services that we need more affordable. I know there are more young people looking for support to further their education. I know we still have some violent communities that we must make safer. That is why we have put so much effort into crime prevention. I know we still have many Belizeans who are sacrificing to support their children. That is why I am pleased to announce that right here in San Ignacio, effective next school year, Sacred Heart College will be the next school to enjoy free education from first form to fourth form.
Vamos bien, all the way. We on the track to greatness, todos ganamos.
Commissioner of Police Chester Williams is currently engaged in a 2-day tour of irregular border crossings in northern Belize. According to the Belize Police Department, the commissioner is meeting with officers from the Northern Operations Unit to discuss challenges and explore ways which the department can work to improve security and operational effectiveness in target areas in both the Orange Walk and Corozal districts. A release from the department states, and we quote, "With heightened cartel activity in neighboring Tamal, it is only prudent that we reassess our operational objectives to ensure no vulnerable areas are left exposed to potential spillover effects. We remain committed to targeting local Belizeans known to associate with cartels in an effort to disrupt their activities," end quote. In the first leg of his operation tour, Campo Williams today visited key areas within the Orange Walk district and is expected to continue through to the Corozal district on Wednesday. The Campol is also being accompanied on this tour by key elements within the department, including Senior Superintendent Christopher Noble, Northern Regional Commander ACP Alford Greenidge, Commander of Operations Officer commanding the Special Patrol Unit Superintendent Aaron Gamboa, ASP Marciano Mejia, OCMIU, and Inspector Jamin Casanova, OCHIT. On February 28, 2025, the Ministry of Human Development, Families and Indigenous Peoples Affairs signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with Agape International Missions Belize, AIM, a global organization committed to addressing human trafficking and exploitation while providing essential support services for survivors. This landmark collaboration aims to strengthen efforts to improve the lives of individuals affected by trafficking. The Chief Executive Officer emphasized the importance of collaboration between government entities and non-governmental organizations in addressing these critical issues, stating, "This partnership will be instrumental in providing comprehensive support to individuals who are vulnerable to exploitation and trafficking." Agape International Missions has extensive experience in combating human trafficking and has played a crucial role in rescuing and empowering individuals who have been victims. Through this partnership, the Ministry and AIM Belize will work together to combat human trafficking by providing rehabilitative services and holistic support for survivors. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, March 5th here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.